Hi, Governor Richardson. I'm Ben Smith. I'm with YouTube.
Hi, Ben.
Thanks for coming today.
Okay.
Waters are available right now.
Hey, so what am I, a giraffe or what? No.
All right, welcome to YouTube, Governor Richardson. We're really glad you have a YouTube channel.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thanks for having me.
Of course. First things first, your job interview video on YouTube is a huge success. 120,000 views and counting. How does it feel to be a YouTube star?
Well, it feels good. You know, we have done well through the internet community, bloggers. I really think they're important because they bring new voters into the political process. And we've raised a lot of money online, so it gives hope to my insurgent candidacy that there are people out there that like our message.
If running for president really is like a job interview, how would you answer these job interview questions? Why do you want the job?
Because I believe this country is divided, and all my life I've tried to bring people together, countries together. I've developed bipartisan solutions as a governor, as an ambassador, as Secretary of Energy. I'm ready. I love this country. I think there are solutions, and it requires leadership. It requires everybody sacrificing. It requires bringing the American people to do something for the collective good. And I believe I've got the best background.
What's your greatest strength and greatest weakness?
Well, my greatest strength, I believe, is, you want to hear it?
Yeah, we want to hear.
Well, I believe my strength is I am knowledgeable. I've got values, I've got commitment, I've got experience. In other words, a lot of these candidates talk about increasing jobs. I've done it as a governor. They've taught about bringing peace. I've worked the North Koreans to reduce their nuclear weapons. Talk about bringing countries together. I was the UN ambassador. By becoming energy independent, I was Secretary of Energy. New Mexico's a clean energy state. We have to shift to solar, wind, and biomass. I've done that as a governor, and I can do it as president.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, hopefully in the White House, running for a second term. But you know, if it doesn't work, a lot of people ask me, well, would you be interested in being vice president or secretary of state? The answer is no, because I have the greatest job in the world. And I got 4 years to go as governor of New Mexico. Of course, I want to be president. But if that doesn't happen, I'm into building bridges, bringing people together, doing things. A governor can create jobs and make a state renewable, can increase health care for kids, make schools better, build and create new jobs. That's what I like to do. A governor can do that. So in 5 years, if I'm not president, I'll still be governor.
So, and you're an underdog in the campaign. Jay Leno has called you the best candidate no one has ever heard of. How do you conduct a campaign when you're an underdog? How does that feel, and how do you go about doing that? Does YouTube play a part in that?
It does, because YouTube is a way that voters connect with candidates. You know, there's the traditional media. They have their polls. They have their celebrities and rock stars. They have the ones they dub the winners because they raise the most money. YouTube can see candidates on the issues, can make them see if they've got passion and commitment, and can bring people together and are sincere and passionate and are regular human beings besides being qualified. This is why my hope is that the YouTube community and the internet community, which I believe has big stakes in who the next president is, because the telecoms want to take you over. They want to take broadband over, and you shouldn't let them. You should be free. And right now there's going to be a national movement to try to take you over. And I think it's important that you have champions that recognize the value of a free internet, a free society, a free way of communicating.
Along those lines, you're well known as a top negotiator, North Korea, Iraq, Cuba. Have you ever used YouTube to prepare for a negotiation by any chance?
No, I haven't, and I should. What I do when I prepare for a negotiation, it's more human. I like to talk to people that have talked to the person I'm negotiating with. I like to read press articles about what their frame of mind is. But I would be very interested in YouTube and for instance, I care deeply about Darfur. I just saw through Google how many villages were burned. I saw the humanity of those villages burned down by the internet. I just saw it. And that is a new source of opportunity for me to learn about when I'm negotiating with somebody, what is their frame of mind? What have they said lately? What have they done lately? And I should use it, but no, I haven't. My last negotiation was a month ago with the North Koreans. And there, it's hard to get access to them because they're a totally closed society. They have, by the way, no broadband or no internet capacity whatsoever, according to your maps.
Right. So if President Bush asked you to make a YouTube video for Kim Jong-il, would you?
Yeah, I would.
Would you share some of that message?
Yeah, I would.
Maybe 10 seconds?
I would say, Kim Jong-il, you've got the poorest nation on earth, but you got nuclear weapons. So use them to do some good. Don't use them in a negative way, but get rid of them. And in exchange, you'll get food for your people. You'll get energy assistance. You'll get America and other countries say to you that we're not going to attack you. You'll get sanctions lifted. You'll get a chance to come out of being an isolated nation and into the 21st century. That's what you want for your people.
Let's move to a few user questions. We have a ton of users that have been dying to ask you questions. A question came from Theo Vandedier. I would like to ask Governor Richardson if he continues to support the Second Amendment after recent events.
Yeah, I do. I'm a Westerner. I believe the Second Amendment is a constitutional right. I'm a hunter. But that doesn't mean I don't support background checks. I don't support Uzis and automatic weapons. But I believe that what we need is strong background checks to prevent those that have mental illness or any criminal background from getting guns. Most gun owners are law-abiding. But I believe that more than just dealing with shutting off all guns, shutting off the rights of hunters and those that are out there just for recreational reasons, we should focus on the problems: poverty, a lack of education, dealing with mental health. Mental health is a national problem, yet mental health is not treated on the par with other illnesses. So I would get at the root causes of violence, and that's poverty, lack of education, substance abuse training, finding ways that we spend more on treatment and education and rehabilitation rather than punishment.
So multiple users have asked, what would you do about high gasoline prices?
I would have an Apollo program that says we are going to reduce our dependence on foreign oil, where those gasoline prices are when OPEC countries are determining the price of $4 gasoline. I would shift from fossil fuels that are dirty and are polluting the planet to renewable energy, 65% to 10%. It would be mandates, public and private investment. I think the future is solar, wind, biomass, fuel cells, distributed generation, ethanol, biodiesel, clean and renewable fuels. I'd ask every American out there, every YouTube user, you got to sacrifice a little bit for the common good. You got to get greener. You got to find ways to not abuse the planet so much. Fuel-efficient vehicles. Do something about your washing machine. Do something about your lighting. Do something about your air conditioning. Do something about green buildings and solar roofs in schools. Mass transit, finding ways that you transport yourself more energy efficient. I think if everybody participates to become greener, not only it will be good for the economy, save prices of gasoline, but also will promote our energy security and our energy efficiency.
Can we win the war in Iraq?
No, but we can't lose. See, it's not a win or lose situation. There is no military solution. There's a political solution. We can withdraw with honor, with diplomacy. We can do that protecting our troops, protecting our interests, but we got to have a full withdrawal, no residual forces. Congress should deauthorize the war. We should stop having these debates about withdrawing troops and funds on an interim benchmark basis. A full deauthorization of the war based on the Congress's War Powers Act should be pursued, and it should be very clear. By the end of this calendar year, no residual forces, with diplomacy that brings the three religious groups together, an all-Muslim peacekeeping force, and also an agreement to divide up the country, not in three separate states, but three entities by an Iraqi federal government. We also bring Iran and Syria in. You make peace with your enemies, not with your friends.
Thank you so much for your time, Governor Richardson. YouTube thanks you. Thank you.